Some important weather warnings to share with you now. Senior Meteorologist Kristi Gordon joins us with the details of a potential bomb cyclone heading for the BC coast. Kristi.
Sophie, so a bomb cyclone is a rapidly intensifying low-pressure center where the center itself is actually dropping or has the potential of dropping by 24 milligrams in less than 24 hours. Now, this one's not going to move on to the coast. It's actually going to stall just off the coast. Nonetheless, it's going to impact all regions with incredibly strong outflow winds. The impact will begin through the afternoon hours tomorrow and then intensify tomorrow evening and particularly overnight. Number of areas now under a wind warning from Environment Canada. Metro Vancouver, though, is under a special weather statement, which means we're below wind warning criteria. We'll likely see gusts up to about 70 or 80 kilometers an hour. But the outer coast could see gusts in excess of 120 kilometers an hour. That means like a Category 1 hurricane strength force wind. Meanwhile, the inner coast of Vancouver Island could see wind gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour. Again, the greatest impact will be late tomorrow evening and overnight. So back to you.
All right, meteorologist Kristi Gordon joins us now with a look at our forecast. We talked about that bomb cyclone. Sounds ominous, Kristi, and the hail was a little bit of a midday surprise, too.
We really have a bunch of everything between the thunderstorm potential still this evening, Sophie. This was the one from earlier today that you just mentioned, and it tracked east along the region, starting off in Burnaby and then moved through the Coquitlam area. But now we turn our attention to the cold air that's going to shift in place overnight. We're actually going to see the temperature across much of the south much of the south coast drop down to about 2 degrees and a freezing level down to about 150 meters. So as we continue with pockets of precipitation, still a risk of thunderstorm this evening and overnight, we actually have the potential for not just hail, but actually wet snow or snow over higher elevations. So that's a potential through the overnight period. And then tomorrow, we're actually going to have a bit of a down day. The showers will ease through the morning hours. It will be cold in the morning, but we're turning our attention to that potential bomb cyclone, which is impacting or will impact the region sort of afternoon, evening, and overnight tomorrow. And we'll still feel the impact of it into Wednesday. Metro Vancouver is not under a warning. However, we'll still see very strong outflow winds, generally impacting Abbotsford, southern Metro Vancouver, and any of the inlets along the mainland areas. That's where we'll see those strongest winds. So we have the potential for broken trees as well as branches, power outages, and delays in travel, whether it be the ferries or just on the roads, because we'll see reduced visibility as we will see rain along with it. But tomorrow, generally during the day, bright skies, but very cold in the interior. And we'll see temperatures remain cold through the overnight and early morning period tomorrow with highs of only 7 degrees here. So, Sophie, definitely a stormy couple of days on the way. Again, the biggest concern really is late tomorrow with those strong winds, although Metro Vancouver is not under a warning. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Kristi.
A potential bomb cyclone is approaching the BC coast. If that sounds bad, well, it could be. Senior meteorologist Kristi Gordon is here now with the details. Kristi.
Chris, so a bomb cyclone is a rapidly intensifying low-pressure center where the pressure at the center of the low actually drops by about 24 millibars in less than 24 hours. Now, this low-pressure center is going to move towards the coast and impact all coastal regions with these strong outflow winds, but it's not actually going to move onto the coast, so that is some good news. Nonetheless, we have warnings in place all along coastal regions where the outer coast could see Category 1 hurricane strength winds up to 120 kilometers an hour. Inner coast could see winds gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour. And Metro Vancouver is not under a warning. We're going to see just below warning criteria, gusts up to 70 or 80 kilometers an hour. Now, it's going to develop tomorrow afternoon. We'll likely see the strongest winds into the evening and late evening hours, and particularly overnight. But because this system is going to stall just offshore, we'll continue to feel the impact of it even on Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, Kristi, we'll check in a little bit later. Thanks. Sudden hailstorm rolled through. The video taken by our very own Ted Field in the Global BC courtyard, risking his life. And a similar scene in Coquitlam. Global viewer Kathy Hermani sent us this video of hail pounding down on her deck. But it passed pretty quickly.
Ted survived, though. Just
He did.
In case anyone's worried, he survived.
No injuries.
Kristi Gordon here now with a look at our weather forecast. I'm about to sneeze, so I'm just going to let you take it away.
Okay, I got it, Sophie. I got it. Okay, yeah, so there was breaks of blue sky in a mix of the risk of thunderstorms, and they were really isolated. We still have the potential for thunderstorms this evening, but this is the cell that rolled across the region earlier today and brought that potential for hail. Really what we're watching is now spotty precipitation as we head through the evening hours, and what we're concerned about is that freezing levels are going to drop. Temperatures across Metro Vancouver will drop to about 2 degrees. Freezing levels down to about 150, 200 meters. So that brings in the potential for snow as these pockets of precipitation move across the region. So a heads up for that as we head through the evening and overnight hours. Now tomorrow, the precipitation will actually settle down ahead of this next system. So the rain and wind will develop in the afternoon hours with the most intense impact of this through the evening and overnight hours. And again, we're talking about incredibly strong outflow winds. So for Metro Vancouver, this is what that looks like. Strong outflow winds tend to be through the Fraser Valley and then out through southern Metro Vancouver. We also get these strong winds through all of the inlets. So Howe Sound could see gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour. Strait of Georgia up to 100 kilometers an hour. It's still a little uncertain for Metro Vancouver. That area is under a special weather statement, but I think you may see that be picked up tomorrow. Meanwhile, outer coast, we're talking about wind gusts up to 120 kilometers an hour. So we're certainly talking about the potential for broken trees and branches, power outages, and travel delays. It'll be reduced visibility on the roads, and you'll likely see cancellations in the ferries. Again, this is late tomorrow, so tune back in tomorrow morning. Mark will have all the details. Meanwhile, cold and clear across the interior regions. A beautiful fall but chilly day. It's coastal regions that will see that chance of snow or wet snow over higher elevations tonight. Chance of showers tomorrow, but generally dry midday. Then the rain will develop in the afternoon and evening hours, as will the wind, and we will continue to feel the impact of this system into our Wednesday as well, although the strongest winds will be late evening and overnight. All right, tonight's central weather window is coming to you from North Vancouver. Henry Tom captured this incredible thunderstorm which rolled across the region yesterday. I certainly heard it from my home in North Vancouver. That is a splendid shot indeed. Thanks, Henry.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kristi.
Incredible. All right, here's Squire with a look ahead at what's coming up on sports.
Who knows? Maybe we'll bump into him again. Wouldn't that be something?
In Victoria, Jason Pires, Global News.
It's awesome. They're going to have a great time.
Well, hopefully, Bruce,
Am I wrong? Is one of Bruce Springsteen's sons a firefighter?
I don't know. Did you look it up?
I can.
I want to look it up now.
You guys talk. I'll look it
Okay,
up.
I need to look it up.
Viewers might be looking it up right now, and we'll find out on Twitter very shortly. In the meantime, as we're all looking it up, the latest on this bomb cyclone and what might happen overnight Tuesday, Kristi.
Thanks, Chris. You know, I just want to quickly warn everyone again, tonight temperatures will drop to 2 degrees. So snow or wet snow above 200 meters is not out of the question, but it would be pockets. But be aware of that.
Yes.
Tomorrow, it's actually pretty pleasant with just cloudy skies. But tomorrow afternoon, that's when we're expecting the winds to pick up, and it will be very stormy tomorrow night.
Yeah, Sam Springsteen.
Okay.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, he's a Jersey firefighter. All right,
Okay, my memory hasn't failed me yet.
Have a good night, everybody.